yeah, I'm curious where you guys are at on what has led to this slowdown post All-Star break.
Well, that was a really interesting interview that Zach Lowe did with Scalabrine, because he's a big time homer on broadcast to the point where like I literally can't listen to Celtics broadcasts anymore. I don't listen to them. I listen to the Away broadcast on NBA League Pass. And just hearing him kind of not go at the team, but he was definitely calling them out a little bit on that pod, saying they just like don't try hard enough and they think that they're going to be able to flip that switch. What stood out to me was in the comments that you were making about Mike Brown, right? If we're going to do the A and B comparison between Mike Brown and Joe Mazzulla right now, like there's accountability in the huddles. Like when you hear the clips from Mazzulla, he's on his guys and he's telling them like they need to play the right way. Like these are the habits that lead to winning. When we move the ball, when we make the extra pass, there've been many clips that have circled where I'm like, oh, I actually like the message that he's delivering in the huddle. And I went to a couple games and I saw him chew people out on the court. But what I'm not seeing is that like immediate hook. You know, it's easier to do that with a rookie than an established veteran. But like I would like to see that a little bit more. If a guy's not giving effort, if a guy's not following the game plan, just like take him out for a little bit and just be like, hey, if you're not going to give me the effort right now, like you'll get back in the game, but let's put somebody else in the game right now that's going to give a little bit more effort because we have the depth as a team. But Mazzulla, man, like, I don't know. Most Celtics fans are out on him at this point. I don't know any Celtics fans personally that still believe in what Mazzulla is doing, which is very concerning. I'll let Will and Adam jump in on that, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, this guy may be in over his head and he's not learning the lessons fast enough to get this team ready for the playoffs.
Did that happen fast? Were people always kind of teetering?
Nah, dude, that was, hey, we're really happy with you. And then you get the job full time and now you're trash. And I think what's happened is as well for me, I think Greg hit it on the head with, he hasn't learned his lessons quickly enough, but he's also just like really, really rigid in the way he approaches the game. So his offensive system doesn't change. We're going to spam the Spain pick and roll. We're going to spam horns actions and chin actions, regardless of if they work, regardless of if they don't. If the team figures out how to defend it, we're not changing anything. Defensively, he hasn't settled on a system. 1 minute they'll switch 1 through 4 with 5 in drops. The next they'll be up to the level. Next it'll be rotations. Then they'll switch 1 through 5. The big man rotations is in that utter shambles. I just think that as the season's gone on, he's slowly lost kind of grasp of what he was trying to do. Maybe he's lost a little bit of the locker room. It's very easy to play well for a coach that is only there for a short period of time. I'm not sure, like for me, and this is me just throwing out something, like it feels like he got made head coach and then all of a sudden the players realized like, oh damn, we got this guy for a while, and their plays kind of started to be affected because it's just not going well, dude.
Yeah, and I have you said he's kind of a rigid coach, Adam. I have a theory that I've been growing here, Brenden, that I think Joe Mazzulla is just actually a robot impersonating how a human's supposed to act. If you've heard any of his pressers, he's just, he number one, whenever he does attempt humor, it's so bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's like he's heard a joke and he's like, oh, this is how I should try to act as a human. And I think that kind of plays into a little bit of his coaching style. And so, yeah, it's been an interesting ride with Joe Mazzulla. And I think Greg and Adam have hit on a lot of those reasons. One extra thing that I'll throw in as far as where the Celtics are at, especially, over the last, 20 games or whatever it is, where the Celtics are now the 3 seed as we're recording this, have dropped down to that 3 seed. And this is really, this is not nearly close enough to the main reason. This is a very small thing, but honestly, like right now, Jaylen Brown's been playing better than Jason Tatum over the last, I don't know if it's 15 games. I don't know where we're at right now if you want to, decipher that or draw that line in the sand. But Tatum needs to be a top 5 guy. Like that's what makes this team overall, like when you look at the true championship contenders, like part of what sets the Celtics apart is not just the depth, it's that they have that depth at the top and that they have a top 5 guy and they have a top 15 to 20 guy in Jaylen Brown. And right now, over this stretch where the Celtics are struggling, they have 2 top 20-ish guys, which is not bad. Obviously a lot of teams would be really happy with that, but when you're talking about championships, that's just not the level that Tatum's been at over the last, X amount of games. And that makes a really big difference when you're seeing, the way that you just had the Bucks in town in Sacramento. You saw the way that they're playing, the way that the Sixers are playing right now. Like those teams are going to another level, and the Celtics are kind of going in reverse a little bit at the wrong time. Not to mean it can't be corrected, but it's just another element that's added to the struggles.